Hi, my name is Alek, and today, together with 88 Grains, we would like to invite you to roast new coffee together. It's coffee of the month, and it's a Finca El Cucurucho. I hope I pronounced it well, and it's a honey Catuai from Honduras. Let's roast it together on Aillio Bullet.
Okay, so we have our roaster ready. We start off with 230 Celsius degrees on IBTS temperature sensor, and our starting settings are power on 7, fan on 5, and drum obviously on the 9. Today we are aiming for longer roast, that's why the starting temperature is lower than usual. We're aiming for like 9.5 to 10-minute roast. I hope it will be fine. I'm not sure if we actually roasted honey coffee before, so maybe I'll explain what the honey actually is for those of you who don't know it. So honey is a processing. It doesn't involve any honey, so don't get fooled. Basically, the cherries are collected, then floated, usually for floaters. So they put the cherries into the water. Whatever floats on the top is skimmed and sorted out from the rest. Then coffees are remaining cherries are actually going through the depulper, so they get rid of the skin, and sometimes they do different kind of pulping, so they leave more or less of the mucilage on the bean, and thus they have called it yellow, sometimes yellow, red, black honey, and so on and so on. But the main principle is that when the coffee is pulped, so it has a skin removed and only mucilage is left on the bean, it goes straight to drying patio or drying bed or whatever they are drying on. It actually elongates the drying time, so there's more fermentation going on during drying, and there's more flavors that can be produced during that time. In taste, in the final cup, it's something between natural and washed coffee. So it has tons of sweetness, slightly riper fruits than washed, but not as ripe and not as processed as the as naturals. And during the roast, we are observing if there is no signs of defects, scorching, or tipping that are visible at the beginning of the roast. And we are moving in the right direction, getting close to the color change. And this coffee is produced by Carlos, who is very experienced in coffee processing with his past job titles and past experience. Finca El Cucurucho is actually driven by passion. That's how I would call it. So he bought kind of guest house in the Santa Barbara region, and then quite close to the place he bought small farm, and he produces only specialty high-end grade coffees. So every coffee from Finca El Cucurucho will be amazing. So you can buy it blindly, and this month this is coffee of the month. I think it's definitely worth it. and our first change of the roast will be to increase the fan speed by 1. I actually liked recently to increase the fan on Aillio, but you have to be very careful to don't overdo it, because sometimes it drags way too much heat out of the system and you can get very baked coffee. Yes, we hit the yellow phase, so all the coffee changed color to the yellow, so there's no signs of green or greenish in the beans. And now it's time to start decreasing the energy, so the power goes down step by step, and we moved it to 6, from 7 to 6. So the coffee is Catuai, so it's one of 2 varieties that grow on Finca El Cucurucho. And it is very sweet. Usually I would say that this particular variety yields very sweet cups. And as I mentioned, Finca El Cucurucho is in a Santa Barbara region, which is one of our favorites in Honduras. Every year I fall in love with the coffees from this region. So I hope this one won't be different than any other. And we are getting closer and closer to the first crack, but I think we are on a good way to hit our target roast time. So in the meantime, we decreased the power to P5. And we are observing the color, obviously, and decreasing the power again in 175 to P4. Now it's time to be very careful when decreasing power or gas settings, or increasing the fan settings, because the beans are very, how to say, responsive during when they're getting closer to the first crack, so they are super dry at the moment. And if you overdo it in the last moment, the coffee can crash very easily, so it can lose too much energy, so it can get the rate of rise will get very low, and there won't be too much heat increase, and you'll get baked coffee basically. But this coffee is very easy to roast. It's great coffee for new roasters. As you can see, my rate of rise is like super nice and clean, steadily declining, and we are in a first crack already. And we are aiming for a slightly longer development time. I'm observing the color, not sure yet what to do. So I increase the fan for last couple of seconds to get rid of unwanted chaff, and at 1 minute and 30 seconds we are going to release the beans, and this is it. That's the roast. Let's move on.
Coffee is roasted, and now it's time to brew it. We're going to use V60 today, which is made of plastic to retain the heat, and we're using pre-rinsed paper filter. And today we are going to use 23 grams of coffee, ground to medium coarse-ish, and we are going to use water, very high temperature of 98 degrees. And our first move will be to use 50 grams of water to pre-infuse and saturate all the coffee grounds. I will swirl it so we can get more even saturation, even with the grounds on the bottom of the cone. And after 45 seconds, we are going to pour another part of the water, and we're going to use pour until we heat 250 grams of water in our device. Now it's time. I pour with a circular motion, but mostly focusing on the center of the coffee mass, because this is where there's the most of the coffee. We don't want to pour on the sides because we want to avoid the pouring through the filter only, so the water will avoid half of bigger resistance, which is actually coffee. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, which will happen actually now, we are going to pour remaining amount of water until we'll see 360 grams on our scale. And the last swirl to involve all of the grounds that get stacked on the filter, to involve them in the brewing itself. So there won't be under extracted beans or something like that. And now we'll wait to drain. It should drain around 3 minutes, maybe 3.5 maximum. If the coffee will be draining longer than that, we can expect more bitter flavors, more stringency as well. And it's got stacked. Coffee is very fresh, so I can expect that. When you will be brewing it yourself, it's good to wait a couple of days. But I actually just finished the roasting a couple minutes ago, so that's expected. Okay, but we'll be in we'll have a good time. So the water is almost drained. Yes, it's drained now. So I can see the dry top of the coffee. And we hit 3 minutes and 30 seconds right now. And now is the best time to smell the beans, smell the coffee. Right at the roast, there is a lot of like caramel notes on the nose with some gentle fruitiness. Okay. Let's clean up everything and let's taste the coffee. Okay, there we have it. And one more sniff. Yeah, there's more fruits now and cooled down a little. Oh, that's very well rounded. There is a lot of, maybe not a lot, but there is some gentle fruitiness coming through the caramelly notes that we got through the roasting. It actually reminds me of the red grapes, kind of. And also some stone fruits, like very ripe apricot. Yeah, but it's super sweet coffee. I'm very surprised, to be honest. And when it cools down, it gets more fruity and more fruity, and there's more um, kind of sweet citrus, like lemonade or maybe orange. Mm. Yeah, that's a great coffee of the month. Uh, I hope you will enjoy it roasting as well and drinking it as I do. And I think this coffee will be with me this month, definitely. Cheers.